Discarding Down with Stymie and Gums, an audiobook by Rich Baritone, read by Rich Baritone. Chapter 1, Part 5. Stymie. In 2006, I was in jail at the Fumblenuts County Jail for possession of nothing, also known as vagrancy. They always put me on hygiene watch because I'm nasty. The nurse from the infirmary was at the intake desk trying to get me to sign a form that would have compelled me to take a shower. I refused. I hadn't taken a shower since May 24th, 1973. Also, I had a bumper crop of morel mushrooms growing between the toes of my left foot. That's good eating right there. The guard was growing impatient. "Take the damn shower, hood rat." I felt rebellious. I looked at the deputy, smirked, and farted. Except I actually shit my pants. For the second time that day. Then out of nowhere, the nurse from the infirmary grabbed me by the arm and put me in a straight arm bar and put me on the floor. I looked to my right, and here came 3 deputies around the corner wearing military respirator packs. One had a mop, one had a stiff bristled brush, and one was pushing a Ryobi 2900 PSI gas-powered pressure washer with a Crumbs attachment. I was power washed for 13 minutes. One started working a very soapy mop in my groin area. Once they had me subdued in shackles and handcuffs, they continued to wash me. I was screaming. The infirmary nurse was doing the Charleston. I think. I couldn't see very well, with the shampoo in my eyes. I sat in a cell for 2 days, my skin flaking off. I looked like I was covered in hangnails. Finally, because I became too grotesque to comprehend, they sent me to Fumblenuts Memorial Hospital for a battery of tests. I don't know why they called it that. I never saw one battery the whole time. I laid in a hospital bed, wrapped from head to toe in gauze, just like those old movies. My doctor finally arrived. He had a Mai Tai in one hand and was smoking a cigarette while scratching his testicles with the other hand. He gave me a thin smile and introduced himself as Dr. Mengele. He put his glasses on and looked at me disapprovingly over his eyeglass frames. Finally, with a sigh, he looked at his clipboard and began to speak. "Mr. Hoodrat," he said, "we know exactly what is wrong with you." I said, "Give it to me straight, Doc. I can take it." I always wanted to say that. I love old movies. Dr. Mengele looked at his clipboard. "It appears that you haven't bathed in a great many years. How long had it been since you bathed, Mr. Hoodrat?" I was non-committal. "Well, Mr. Hoodrat," he continued, "according to the rings of dirt that were observed around your neck before the boys down at County hosed you down, we've been able to determine that you last bathed on or about..." He paused and flipped the papers on his clipboard. He looked at me in disbelief. He said, "May 24th, 1973? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't forget May 24th, 1973. I've been trying to for years. That horrible day is burned into my soul. May 24th, 1973 was a living hell." I looked Dr. Mengele right in his monocle. "That's a lie," I screamed. I like being consistent. "Small matter, really," Dr. Mengele said. "You've been so historically filthy for so long that your skin can't handle being exposed to air. Quite extraordinary, actually." He sipped his drink. I was scared and my balls itched. Is there a cure? I was apprehensive of the answer, and now my bung itched as well. Actually, this is eminently curable, Dr. Mengele said as he finished his drink, belched loudly, and butted his cigarette on one of my heavily bandaged feet. Just don't bathe. Don't wash at all and you'll be fine. You'll be shunned by society, of course, but you should be used to that by now. He began to leave. Then Dr. Mengele turned as he reached the door. Oh yeah, the boys down at County wanted to thank you for the morels. Said they were delicious. Oh, by the way, do you have a twin? The question seemed odd for some reason. No, I replied. My foot was getting very warm. Dr. Mengele cocked his head. Any twins in your family? No, I said. Just a retarded uncle that drank an enema. A pause. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, I said. Smoke was beginning to rise from my foot. Oh, okay, bad luck to you. He gave me a gap-toothed smile and left. I was alone again. My heart sank. I really wanted those mushrooms. A few seconds later, my foot burst into flames.